Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our guys and gals, and our non-binary pals. Oh my gosh! I am so sorry. Thank you for the... I'm just gonna... Hold on. Uh, give me a moment. Holy cow, that scared the ever-living crap out of me. Oh. Why is everything so loud? I need to turn down my volume that legitimately gave me a heart attack. Oh my Jesus. Thank you for the follow, This is hot. Oh, jeez. Hello, friends and people. Thank you for... Let me turn down my sound alerts. That is loud. Thank you for the follow, Zuby. I appreciate that. You're wonderful. You threw 25 Dr. Peppers. When you follow, you get 50. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun show. This is gonna be a really fun one. Hello people. Hello guys. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of the VOD. My name is Val and I'm your host. Now, I've been excited about this show very recently, because it's one of those things where the longer you do something, you have to keep... Bro, what is this? This is my starting screen where I get everybody acquainted and we talk, and before we get into the guest, because I have to introduce the guest. But after 39 episodes, 2 hours every week since October, it's one of those things where you're constantly trying to ask yourself, how do you keep doing this without getting burnt out? And it's a very important question I always like to ask myself, because when you have so many... 5,000 points for femboy mode. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follow. And also, most of the time, if people want femboy mode, if they ask nice, I'll just be like, yeah, I'll do it for you. Yay, people are gambling. Wonderful. But basically, after 39 guests, I'm still happy. I'm still rearing to go to make sure that I am on top of everything, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm really having fun. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And honestly, today is no exception, because we're hitting episode 40. 40 episodes of this. Can you believe that? I'm surprised I'm surprised I lasted this long. Like, I'm surprised I didn't give up. Aw, I really love the concept. I too do interviews every now and then as part of my work. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Kevin. I'm glad. Man, I haven't seen you in a little bit, because I remember pointing out your name, because I love the Kotatsu part. But Val has lasted so long. Yeah, that's me. Hey, Chiro, it's been a little bit of time. It's been a long while. This feels like the most unhinged VOD opening we've ever had. So, and that just comes from the fact that people love supporting their guests. Hey, Red, welcome. Enjoy your lurk. Enjoy the Dr. Pepper. That's because, and I talked about it yesterday, one of my favorite things about doing this show is I get to see people come in and support their favorite content creator and their favorite streamer. And you see all the love that pours in, because when they're not streaming, you get to see them in a place where they're not live. They can lower a little bit of their guard, and they can be a little more of themselves. They can be a little more relaxed, because they don't feel the pressure of having to please people and please everyone. I said hi to Merc yesterday. She was amazing. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. I'm really excited. So yeah, it's really wonderful. My gosh. Also, the Dr. Peppers are, for whatever reason, incredibly big now. I don't know why. I have no idea. Well, actually, I might have a singular idea, but that'll be for later. So yeah. Today's going to be a fun show. Today's going to be an awesome show. And people keep gambling their money away. I've seen 3 people lose all of their money in chat, and that's incredibly funny. He bigger the better. Oh, the bigger the better. You don't have any fembugs? Oh, rip. Rip the homie. Well, I talk too much, so let me just streamline this. When I first saw our guest, our guest, I want to say it was on Twitter, and so you have to, I think it's exclamation point give points. It's give points, my fave VTuber. So, for instance, if I do give points to at Kevin another Kotatsu and I give him 100, there we go. I give him 105 bucks. But when I first saw when I first found my guest, I want to say it was on their Twitch. It was on Twitter, and I saw one of their posts that I think it was just quote retweeting a picture of a fridge full of Dr. Pepper or something like that. And it was either that or something else. But the bottom line was they immediately were talking about Dr. Pepper, and then I was like, yo, that's literally me. No, I remember what it was. She was like talking about how she's like, yes, I can't live without my Dr. Pepper. It is, it is good or something like that. And I just responded with a GIF that was from Kung Fu Panda that was Tai Lung say, the meme of, is like, there's another, finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary, kind of thing. And from that point on, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to see what I can do to ask this person to be on my show. Because I feel like it would be the funniest and a little bit most unhinged episode. Because when you have two people that enjoy Dr. Pepper, it's not a good thing, because then they just talk about the soda. And we're here to talk more about the soda. I'm not gay, but your voice... my voice is not good! But thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mark. Oh, is that mortal? I guess that's mortal. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I've seen... What's nice is I've seen a few of you guys who have been talking in chat. I've seen you in Merc's streams. And so... you guys are just awesome. Like, your entire community, and I'll talk about that a little more on the show, are just awesome. So, let me push past that. Let's actually continue with our show, because our guest is probably sitting there in the wings, just like, when's he gonna finish? He talks a lot. He got a degree. I think, as she would say, my man has a degree in yapping. Something like that. She can correct me on it. I'm not voiced, but you're gay. So anywho, guys, today we will be welcoming a Dumbo rat VTuber whose personality can be summed up with her pet rats, a Dr. Pepper, and an obsession with the internet. They are a variety streamer and a rodent enthusiast. This streamer is known for her, what did I just say? Yapping streams, Spooky Game Sunday, which, if you haven't, I've actually been enjoying, because she's been playing games by the same developer who did, I think, Parasocial. And because of that, like, I've wanted to get Parasocial for a while, but now I didn't realize that developer made more games, so now I want to give them a shot and play them. And they also do a silly Minecraft adventures. I gotta talk. There's something else I gotta talk about. So much. Please welcome our guest today, Mercurywinds. Ooh, let's see how it'll load. There it is. Look at it's low res. I love it. And the chroma key just decides. Hey guys, welcome to the very professional show where our guests decide to phase in ever so slightly and be like non-corporeal. We have to wait for it. Oh, there it goes. There it is. There it is. Chat, can you guys hear her? Because you guys are always flaming me on my audio problems.
Hello!
She has the great Fanta aura. Based, not gonna lie. The glorious mauve glow, purple chroma key. Ah! It's gonna be a long show. Yeah, so that's the best I could do, because guess what? Streamlabs is not known for their stellar chroma key features. It's just not. Anywho, we're just gonna say you have as Tatha put it, she has the grape Fanta aura. Jeez! Yo, Tony Chopper! Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, let's kindly ignore chat just a little bit because they're going nuts for you, and rightly so. Can y'all? She hasn't. She said like one sentence. So yeah, let me ask, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a slice of pizza and cookie dough ice cream, and I have the palate of like a 7-year-old, so that's what I enjoyed today.
I'm glad people are enjoying the pizza and the palate of a child. I mean, to be fair though, my co-host, my previous co-host, R.I.P. my boy, the Phantom Fame, he's not dead. He's just becoming a father. Um, so he's just having to deal with the responsibilities of being a dad. Um, so, but yeah, he was the same way, where he had the diet of like a 19th century British man, where
Hmm.
he would only eat things that had like little to no seasoning, and like only had like chicken tenders, pizza, and I think like one other thing. And that was it.
I
He
feel
would.
called out.
Do you use seasonings on your food? Do you season your?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. You at least season your food, because like we had a discussion. We almost. I wouldn't say it was an argument, but it was definitely a debate where we were playing Elden Ring, and I'm like, you ever just have like good waffles, or was it something like that? What was it? Was either you ever just have like uh good waffles or something like that? And he's like, no. I'm like, what? It's like, no, I've never had those. I'm like, what do you mean you've never had them? I don't like them. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like them? So we got on this long thing, and I was like, well, how do you feel about chicken and rice? He's like, well, I like chicken. I like chicken tenders. It depends on how the chicken's cooked. I think rice is okay. I'm like, okay, well, do you put sauce in? He's like, no, God, no. I'm like, why? Why would you not put sauce in? He's like, because sauce is gross. I'm like, what? So what do you put on it? What do you put on it? And this man says to me, and I guess I'm the crazy one because I've never had it. My man says butter and salt on rice. And I had to do a double take because maybe my mom made the best rice growing up. I've never had butter and salt on rice. Like, to me, I don't know. Butter on rice, exactly, butter on rice. I was just
That's
as
so
confused.
weird.
I was just as confused. Look, Phantom, if you are here, and I can see the users in chat, he's not here, but if he ever comes in, it's just salted butter, cinnamon, brown sugar on rice is so good. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. But yeah. Anywho, enough about talking about the palates of people, because we did plenty of that yesterday where we talked about potatoes for like 30 minutes.
Oh God.
Yes. Don't take my word for it. Eat it. No, I'm not eating salted butter, cinnamon, and brown sugar on rice. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe a little bit of lime zest, but I'm not putting butter on rice. That just sounds too American to me. Anywho, without getting too off track, it's time for me to ask our first, and in my opinion, our most important question, and that is, Mercury, who are you and what is your story?
Well, my name is Mercury. People call me Merc, usually over on my channel. I'm a Dumbo Rat VTuber. I'm an artist, a streamer, a gamer, a Dr. Pepper addict, a Little Caesars apologist. I started streaming about a year and a half ago, in when my good friend Steph showed me and introduced me to the world of VTubers. And I learned that these are a thing and you could become one. So I decided to test the waters, had fun with it, and it kind of just snowballing into this thing that I really care about now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Did you ever anticipate you would experience like all this wonderful growth you've had very recently when you first started?
No, absolutely not. It it honestly was kind of overwhelming to say the least, and I think it gives me this sort of weird sense of imposter syndrome where I I mean, like I set a follower goal yesterday, and I woke up and it was hit this morning while I was offline.
Kidding.
Yeah, and it's just it's stuff like that that like it it's hard for me to believe. Like I sit here and I see it and I see the support and the growth, and it's still just a shock to me because on my end I feel like I don't do anything special. I'm just here playing games and streaming it onto the internet.
I mean, clearly with an attitude like that, you know, it does come from a place of humility, um, which, oh goodness, it comes from a place of humility, which is I feel like one of the best traits one can have as a streamer. And not only that, at least in the streams that I pop into, they're just they're either I can categorize them into three boxes. The first one is the yapping stream, in your own words, the yapping stream, the TMI stream, meaning you just, and again, there were two other streams where I would come in and you would say, sorry for like saying all this stuff and, you know, bring all this up, you know, it's just talking about it. And then the last one is just chaos. Because one of my favorite clips of you is, and I should, like, I thought it'd be funny to send it to my head mod, because I like to kind of vet my guests through my mods. I say, what do you think? Do you think this is good? Do you think they're okay? And so all I did was said, tell me, do you think this guest is okay to be on the show? And I sent the clip of you playing Minecraft with somebody, and somebody was playing Fortunate Son flying in a plane in Minecraft. Because when I saw that, I nearly fell out of my seat laughing because it was so funny. Like, I'm half tempted to pull up that clip right now.
What, dude? That is a good friend of mine, Puns, who I met through the SMP that I play on, and they have sound effects for everything. Like they would like fly their little modded Minecraft plane over to me, and they'd be like playing like Freebird, like just like flying over me, and it's proximity voice chat, so you hear it like fade in and then fade out in the distance, and like it just it's so good, it's so funny.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. So what I'm gonna do, had my bookmarks bar. Guess what? I use my thing, my Opera GX has all of my IRL things in it, and I love you guys, but I also value my anonymity. But this is just a clip that I'd say perfectly sums up some of the streams. Let's see. Ah! I'm so sorry for that scream.
You're good.
It's going to be a running theme at this point, so I apologize. So let me yoink that browser source on my thing. So we're gonna go over here. I think it's this one. Oh, it's my little guy there. There we go. Right there. We'll just put you right there. Come on, stream. Thank you. And where is this? So I did not have originally intent to do this, but this clip is something I think everybody needs to see. So I'm sorry. You guys need to see this. This is so hilarious to me to watch. All right. Get copyright. It's this part. It's this part.
I fucking love this SMP, dude.
It's just that part. It's just that part. Like, that is the funniest thing to me to see. Is just it ain't me, or just red, white, and blue. And just nothing. I just hear nothing. Because it just fades into existence, and as quickly as you hear it, it just, it ain't me, gone. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, that was just, oh, whew. But yeah, clearly you bring an energy that I feel like it's very relatable, where we see you go from sentimental to unhinged. And that's okay, because I feel like it offers that relatability in the aspect of we see this comfy streamer, where we're expecting, you know, say so in terms of who they are as an individual. I'm not saying you're not say so. Um, I'm merely saying the one could easily assume just, you know, a very innocent person, and then all of a sudden we hear, what's this dickhead doing? Flying a plane, and just see utter chaos unfold, and just be like, well, that they are an idiot, kind of thing. My goodness. How did you come to find this balance of personality and entertainment in your streams? Because I know for a lot of people it can be hard to want to either be that real genuine self or stick to a persona, and clearly what we see is what we get from Mercury. Is that true?
That is true. I mean, I've never really been comfortable with having like a persona that is so different than me.
Mm-hmm.
I see stream as a space for me to be as genuinely and openly me as I possibly can be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't I wouldn't say I found a balance between like personality and like just like the genuinity and like the entertainment, because for me they're just both. Like for me, I I say exactly what's on my mind at all the time, no matter the consequence,
Yeah.
which could bite me in the ass one day. But I mean, I've come to learn that people would rather you just say everything you're thinking on stream than nothing. Like I used to think like why would I just like say a silly little thought in my head that's not really like pertinent, or like
Mm-hmm.
I was very worried about like how can it be entertaining, but now I really just come on here and I yap and I let out every single thought that comes to my brain through
Mm-hmm.
my voice. And I don't know. I enjoy streaming so much. I have fun with it, so I think that that hopefully shines through and brings fun to others.
Perhaps that says something a little bit about the state of content creation as a whole today. Is you see so many people getting burnt out. You see so many people uh, essentially performing, because at the end of the day, this is what this is. This is performing, um, where people are doing this. They're trying their best to make it work, but ultimately their just hearts are not into it, and that's okay. That's more than okay. It's not for everybody at a certain point. Um, how do you try and maintain that? I love what I'm doing. I'm happy and I want to go into it with every stream, because I know in November when I was streaming, a lot, streaming 4 to 5 days a week, about 3 hour streams, I was just feeling myself. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep this up. And I took a week off and I reevaluated myself, and I was like, is this really what I want to do? And when I came back, I think it was a specific guest I had on my show where right after I had them on, I'm like, you know what? This is worth it. This is why I like doing it. Is because I like interacting. I like talking with people, but more importantly, I'm overthinking how I'm treating this hobby. Because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. So back to the question is, how do you make sure you don't overthink and become burnt out with this, especially given the pressure as people gain more traction on Twitch and just in content creation, the pressure that could arise with wanting to maintain momentum like that?
That's a good question. I mean, the the thing that always the thing that I always use as guidance, right, is
Mm-hmm.
stream is fun. Streaming is fun. Content creation is fun. Making my clips are fun. Posting on social media is fun. If any of that starts to stop being fun, that's that's when you need to reevaluate. And
Yeah.
I mean, burnout, the amount of work that it takes for certain people to reach burnout is completely different. And for me, I stream a lot and I stream very frequently, and I haven't really experienced a ton of burnout recently. But I think when it comes to like pressure of momentum, I feel like it's more so something I place on myself and something that actually is really there. I don't think that people are sitting there being like, when is she going to reach her follower goal? When is she going to hit partner? When is she going to do this? So I try and remind myself that this is all something I do for fun, and as long as I'm enjoying myself, that's all that matters. And when it stops, and when you stop enjoying it, is when you should change how you're doing it.
It's a very well well said way of putting it. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that middle part of enjoying it. If you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it in the first place? Because going in line, I feel like with our guest yesterday, Gremlin, who kind of talked a little bit about how he sets his standards for his chat, it's very much much as the streamer is saying, "Hey, I'm doing this because I want to have fun. I want to be part of it." I feel like that's equally something that the viewer should also have in mind is if you're here and you're not having fun with the streamer and you're not having fun being in this position, perhaps this isn't what you should be doing. And he said it was a hard. Grimland said it was a hard decision to make, but it was one he ultimately felt comfortable with. Given his size, because I think he has about 100 followers. He at that size he lost 20 followers because of it. Now at that size, that's a lot of followers. You know, if you're at 100 followers, you lose 20. You just lost 1/5 of your audience. That's devastating. But in his mind, it was completely worth it because when he said, "Look, guys, I'm streaming how I want to, and I'm happy you guys are here, but ultimately I'm streaming for myself because this is what I enjoy doing and I love this. If you guys want to be here with me on the ride, I'd love to have you. But bear in mind, again, I'm streaming because I want to, not because you guys want me to." And I think it's a unique mindset that I think people should start exploring a little more. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just it's hard to be honest and say, "Hey, look, chat, I love you. You're awesome. But I need to do this for myself because if I don't, I'll go insane." You know? And I guess that just comes with having the confidence to just be like, "Hey, I trust my chat enough to understand that I need to be in the right place mentally in order to make it work."
Mm-hmm.
You know? And speaking of that, you know, something we find you doing a lot in your streams is you are either talking with chat, your own chat, about their own troubles they're going through, or you're very open and you're very honest, you know, transparent to a degree that you can be. What leads you to what allows you this level of vulnerability with your chat? Because I know a lot of people are closed off in talking about these things. I, for instance, I don't talk about a lot of my stuff with my chat because it's just not something I'm probably as comfortable with. So how do you find that balance of vulnerability with your chat to be open about yourself?
Well, I feel like it's easier for me because I'm an open book.
Mm-hmm.
I have met people, and on the first day of meeting them, I've told them just about all of my entire life story in
Mm-hmm.
great detail. Um, I'm a yapper. I like to yap.
Yeah.
Um, and I've come to learn that so many people in this world feel like the feelings that they are feeling and the experiences that they are experiencing are something that no one else can relate to, even if they know it's like a common thing that happens. And so I always try to be open about the things that I'm going through because I,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm struggling, it's not something I want to. That energy and that emotion and that feeling is not something I want to give to others. So I'm very open about how I'm feeling and where that's going to guide me and everything. And I'll never forget one time in my Discord I opened up a lot about like a really traumatic incident that happened to me. Well,
Mm-hmm.
multiple traumatic incidents that happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I'll never forget when someone messaged me after, like they directly messaged me after and told me that like they felt better like after hearing my experiences and knowing that they weren't alone in experiencing those things and being able to open up about something that they felt um almost like ashamed to talk about. And so it's like at the end of the day, I don't care what embarrassing, shameful, quote unquote, like sad things that people know about me, because if that can make someone feel a little less lonely, that's very worth the cost for me. So I'm very honest and I'm very vulnerable with all that stuff.
Yeah. It's a very did my tracking just stop working? Oh no. Uh what oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, no, that's as you're saying that, there was one quote from albeit the anime One Piece that came to mind, but in my opinion, it's a very strong one. It's a very powerful one. Of ain't no one born into this world to be alone. And I feel like that's something that it's not our responsibility, it's not our job as streamers to be friends. But I feel like at a certain point, it certainly helps, and it's certainly appreciated. You can't be friends with everybody. It doubles back. It reminds me of the story of the boy who throws starfishes into the sea, where every morning the tide would come in and pull a bunch of starfishes, and it would wash all over the shore of this beach, and there's like thousands of them. And this boy every morning will go out and pick one up and throw him back in the ocean. And there was a man who was walking by. He's like, "Little boy, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm throwing starfish back in the sea." He's like, "Well, you can't possibly hope to do it for every single one of them there. There's like thousands here on this beach." And the little boy reaches down, he picks one up and throws it back in the sea. Well, I just saved that one. And so I think that perfectly encapsulates being a streamer. Is while you can't help and you can't do it for everyone, you can certainly help for some. And sometimes that can just be enough. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, enough of let's move a little bit past the self introspection and like the deep philosophical topics. Let's talk about something a little more lighthearted, and that is your design. And the reason why I say it like that is because I don't think I have really seen a rat-based VTuber before finding you. I think you're the first one I've ever seen. Like, you talked about how you were a rodent enthusiast. Let's talk about it a little bit. Explain, please.
I've always loved pet rodents. I think they're the coolest thing ever. They all live so unique and interesting in their environments and how they interact with each other and everything. So I've just always been a fan of pet rodents. I've had a bunch of hamsters. I have had and do have pet rats.
Mm-hmm.
I have a rodent bucket list of pet rodents I hope to own one day, including like mice, ferrets, rabbits. Um, I'm really interested in rodents. I think they're underappreciated, underrepresented, and rats specifically, I'd like to say, are dogs of the rodent world. They're like people call them pocket puppies because they're very similar in personality and react like interactions to dogs, but they're just on a smaller
Really?
scale.
I relate to them on a personal level because I feel the same way about pigeons. Pigeons are a very misunderstood breed of animal. Ferrets are noodles. Ferrets are noodles. Um, but pigeons are very much of the same kind of misconception, where when people think of pigeons, they think they're coincidentally flying rodents. Um, and I want to assure everyone here, pigeons are one of the cleanest animals you'll find because of how much they bathe themselves. Not only that, but pigeons used to be a domesticated breed of animal that, due to society shunning them, they then became wild animals. And so, yeah, all pigeons in America are feral messenger pigeons. It's one of those things where, something happens in society. I guess I perhaps something pertaining to the Black Plague, the Black Death, changed everybody's opinion on what rats were. And so I know growing up, my mom, we had like 2 mice and 2 rats, and they were really cool. They were really cool animals, and I love them. But it's very interesting that you decided to take this and latch onto it. And I always like to ask my guests: are there anything about your design that you took from your real life, either person or experiences, that you wanted to kind of include on this model in this
A
persona?
little bit. Well, when it comes to like my initial character design of my first ever model, and it's honestly something I hope I could like recreate into my new model. Um, the entire aspect of my initial character design is she's too lazy to dress up for stream.
Mm-hmm.
So she's wearing a tank top and shorts and an oversized jacket. And I'm very clumsy and I trip over things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm constantly bumping into things. So she had a bunch of band aids and bandages on her legs.
Oh.
Um, I've always wanted my character to like resemble to an extent like me and my personality.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a little bit less just because I thought it would be fun to dress up and look a bit different. But my
Mm-hmm.
piercings are something that are resembling of me that I wanted on there. My favorite color is green. So having that on here and the brown hair, that's basically what I
Brown hair.
wanted to have to resemble me.
What about the highlight? That center highlight.
Uh, that has I was sketching out my initial design and just put that there, and it just kind of stuck.
I feel like it at this point, it would look odd if you didn't have it.
Yeah, it'd be like Uncanny Valley.
Well, it's like if I took off my glasses, I just would not look the same. I Clark Kenting it, if you will. you know. Um, but you have different outfits, and I. What's funny to me is I remember being in there for a stream one time, and there was a poll where it was like pick between 3 outfits. What are those 3 outfits? What are they called? Because I think one of them is really funny.
So I have this outfit. This is my default outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Basic shirt, skirt, jacket, and everything. I have this outfit, which people have a very hard time naming because I to this day I still have this button on my stream deck marked as outfit 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just we didn't have a proper name for it, and for the longest time people were calling it like librarian. And
Librarian.
I was like, what library are you going to where the librarian is wearing this? And please tell me the address because I may need to hypothetically check that out. But people were calling it that. Some people call it the secretary outfit. I call it like the frilly outfit
The
because of the
frill.
frills on the top.
That's fair.
Um
Mm-hmm.
this outfit, fun fact, my model artist wanted to make me 3 outfits.
Mm-hmm.
She made my initial one, we made the jammies, and then I said for the third one just make whatever you want. I
Yeah.
just sent her a bunch of like Pinterest inspiration. I said just make whatever you want, and she just came back with this, and I love it. So even in design, it didn't have a theme, it didn't have a name, it didn't have a concept. It was just make what you want, and this is what she made. um
Interesting.
and then I have my pajamas because my canonical outfit when streaming usually is pajamas.
Now, there's one more outfit you have, or one more design. Um, and I say it like that because you may or may not have seen it. Hold on. Where is it? I got one similar. My little guy.
Oh yeah, I have my little paper model.
And let me tell you something. There's a funny story about what happened with this one. I'm like, oh man, why not scroll VGen? What do you mean the most horrifying combination of emotes? Yeah, it's fair though. But it's funny because when I saw your paper model for the first time, I'm like, oh, that's super adorable. I love it, and then I forgot about it. And then I was perusing VGen one day because I got distracted when I saw somebody post like an emote there. They're like, it was like called a squibby emote or something like that. And I was like really cute and really adorable. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me just see what's on VGen because one on like, oh, they have a 2D VTuber model section. What's that? Let's see what they have. And I see the person who did Squibby. See, look at that. There he is, right there.
It's Ecto.
What's going on, cow? But anyway, when I looked at the person, I was like, was it Jack and Tynes? Interesting. That looks very familiar, like a model I've seen before. And I clicked on it, and I scrolled down to see what the different ones they had, and they did. And then I saw yours. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the person that did it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw them, like, oh my gosh, I have to get one for this price. I have to. It's too good. It's too good to pass up. It's too good. And so I talked with them. I'm like, can we do this? And like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, can I have glasses toggle and a Dr. Pepper toggle? I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I have glasses toggle, and then I have a Dr. Pepper toggle. Freaking love it. And fun
That's
fact, guys,
so real.
this is my second live 2D model, so I actually have two. But you guys will get the third. We'll get the second outfit, the second live 2D model. You will get that when we reach. Ah, look at that! My gosh, I just love the shirt. This says "Eat cheese and sin."
This is the only thing I requested. I commissioned Jack and Tynes, and I was like, can you please just give it the shirt? And I just linked a picture of this shirt. Jack and Tynes. I was like, that's all I want. I just wanted to wear this shirt.
They're, oh my goodness. All I gotta say is it's like, it's just good work. And there's just so many talented people out there that you can get for just affordable things like that. And I think what I might do is I might link them. You want to swap back to our original models?
Yeah, we could do that.
I can continue the rest of the show like this, but let me just disconnect that. Because I want to do it for the meme. And just be like, hey, yo, I got one of those. But yeah. Do you have any plans for a new model coming up? Or are you pretty content with where you at right now?
Well, I do have a new model that's actually almost finished in its rigging process.
Nice.
It is the same base model. It has some slight adjustments and changes.
Yeah.
And it's got a new outfit and a new hairstyle. And it'll still be able to wear these outfits and still able to, I'll still look like this, but I'll just be wearing something else. So, yeah.
I broke my VC face. I gotta restart that. Now, crap, guys, I'm very professional. Can't you tell? Oh shoot. Ah, yeah, my brain. That's what it was. Wasn't there something else that your community kind of decided on with that one model where you just it was called something else as well, like with the librarian fit. It was like mod's choice or something like that. And I guess my question is it something where you kind of have a theme for every stream you do? You want to have like an outfit present for that, or do you just kind of play it by ear kind of thing?
I play it by ear. It depends on the vibe that we're going for, the energy of it. And typically, like you mentioned, I leave it up to democracy, and I let chat decide. I let chat decide what I'm gonna dress as. My model artist, when designing this model, she said, "I want you to be able to look different every time you stream. You're like a dress-up doll." So I really enjoy that because I feel like it brings a different energy and vibe to each of the streams.
I was gonna say, when you give your chat a lot of power to decide a lot of things, it certainly adds for that sense of community. I mean, I'm trying to include like more polls and such, like more things to do that, but you know, clearly a lot of the things that you do in a lot of your streams are very community driven. And so I guess the last kind of question to cap us all off, like this section, is do you have any like plans or any bigger things that you'd like to do with your community that you think would be fun?
Yeah, I have some ideas. I do charity streams every couple of months. I'm currently planning my next charity marathon. We do lots of like informal community-based stuff, mainly in the Discord. But what else was on my? There was something else on my brain. Oh, I did a tournament once. I did like an Overwatch deathmatch tournament.
Oh yeah.
Before, back in the day, and it was very scuffed and poorly managed on my part, and it was chaotic and crazy, but I know a lot of people had a fun time. There was no reward. It was just everyone having fun and hanging out. And I'd love to do something similar to that, where I do another tournament and I host it and pretend like I'm an esports commentator.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I actually hosted a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament for the first time back in February, and it was so much fun. Like, it's hectic and it takes a lot of effort to plan, but when you actually do it, it's one of those things that, like, man, that was really good. I got to do this again. That was so much fun. And it's really funny because at the very end of it, we only had 8 people, and for a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament with best of 3, 8 people's more than enough. And at the very end of it, we ended up having the 2 players in the finals. They ended up having a draw because we were all so tired and we didn't feel like continuing. So, like, you both are the winners. We're just gonna go to bed now. Oh my goodness. Well, when you get that off the ground, be sure to send out all the feelers. I'd love to see how big you can get that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Of course, yeah, I'll let you know.
Sweet. Well, let's move on to our next section. Now, this is a section. What we're going to talk about is pretty relatable to me, in the aspect of I'm in my bachelor's program right now in my university. I'm a communications major with an emphasis in video production. Now, you are currently in your master's program in communications. Explain to us a little bit the what your work streaming balance is like through this entire process, and especially through a master's program as well.
I still have room to improve. It's still not great, but it's work stream balance has always been very dependent on when I get my shit done. When I was working on my undergrad, I was streaming and I was at a point in which I was very depressed and down, and I had a stream schedule and I was like grinding it out, and I felt guilty about not streaming. But now I've kind of come to a point where it's like, if I got things to do, I got homework to finish, I just don't stream. So I basically, when anyone ever asks me in my chat, like, what days do you stream? Do you have a stream schedule? I say I stream when I can. And I'll just, oh, check-in times.
How funny! Oh my gosh, that's so funny! Hey, so this is the person who we were just talking about, who made the paper models. Oh my gosh. Mods, can we get a shout out for our wonderful artist here? And if not, I can get that covered. Where is that? Yeah, so let's see. Oh, Lethal Company. Last playing Splatoon 3. Let's go. I've never played Splatoon. But welcome. Are we go back to paper mode? So Jack, before you joined, we were actually just talking about our paper models. And just how much fun they are. So, but yeah, welcome. Hello, Raiders. My name is Val. This is the VOD, and we have our guest here, Mercury. So I'd love to talk more about it, but I want to make sure we keep our time devoted to talking about Mercury. But yeah, guys in chat who are not part of the Raiders, please go support Jack and Tynes. They're a wonderful artist, and they do a lot of wonderful things. Not to mention, they're very affordable. Like, honestly, it's a crime that they don't charge more, because honestly, that work deserves more. That's why I'm more than happy to, like, tip a lot for it. Yo, is that a rat? Heck yeah, rat jam. So back to this. Oh my gosh, my train of thought again. Balancing that and just saying, I'm streaming when I'm streaming. Do you worry that because you don't have as much of a set stream schedule, it could be a little harmful? Because I know, at least for some people, some streamers I follow, they don't, and they've talked about how they wish they had one. But at the same time, they're like, it just gives me more flexibility. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my community is very used to it. And I kind of set this precedent pretty clear for people who are newcomers to my community and my streams and stuff.
Yeah.
So even if it is like harmful, I've built and established a community that's very content with me streaming when I want, and they show up when they can, and that's all that matters. So I don't really care if it quote unquote like harms my performance, because it's what's best for me.
I respect it. Now, you're a full-time... Would you consider yourself a full-time streamer as well?
I wouldn't say full-time. I'd say part-time.
You say part-time?
Yeah.
As a part-time streamer, being in graduate school, that's a tough act. I mean, have you noticed that, like, have when you started this, when did you start this? Like, in terms, because I know what like a master's program, graduate school, that's about 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, were you streaming while you were still in your bachelor's?
Yes. So I streamed my senior year of. Oh wait, starting my junior. Starting. Oh no, I started in my senior year of my undergrad, and then now I'm in my final year of my master's.
It's funny that you say it because I started my semester or the semester after I started my junior year. So I'm going to be going to my senior year next semester. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see some fun things when I go into my master's program. um so if it's all right, do you think you could walk us through like a typical day that, for you, not specifically the classes you're taking, all that, but just like a typical day for Mercury in, going to classes, and then, managing your job, like an IRL job, and then going to streaming.
Yeah. I only go to class a few days a week because a lot of my classes are online in my master's program,
Heck yeah.
mainly because availability issues.
Yeah.
So I'm at home a lot. So typical day for me is I'm at home and I do homework for hours. Typically, if I can, I'll bug one of my friends to stay in a voice chat with me, and I'll actually share my screen with them just so they can hold me accountable, and we'll watch like video essays. Because focus is something I really, really struggle with.
Yeah.
Um, so I I get homework done for a very long time. I go to classes. I go to work depending on the day. And then typically in the evenings, more recently, if I feel like I've gotten everything I've needed to do done that day, or if I
Yeah.
can do it the next day, I'll stream typically afternoon/evening.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, clearly you have it mapped out where, like, you're putting your studies first, but at the same time you're like, I have time. I got time. And I wish Phantom was here. That's something he'd always say. Yeah, I got time. But clearly you have this work balance set out. Are there any things, like any outliers that may pop up? Because, like, this for my job, since I make my own hours, I typically try and work from 8 to 2 p.m., go to class from 2 to 3, and come back. But sometimes, like, recently I'm having to schedule, I have to give a TED Talk presentation, like a TED Talk style presentation, on the same day I have to film a project from one of my film classes. And it's really hard to balance that because it just came out of nowhere. It's just like, suddenly, this is the only day all members of my group can do it. And, do you feel like sometimes things pop up like that can get in the way of you wanting to stream because of school?
A little bit. It's mostly my thesis
Ooh.
and my job, because my job is very, I get paid via stipend.
Oh.
Uh so my hours, I don't clock in, I don't clock out. We don't measure my time in how much time I work. It is
Yeah.
I am assigned the tasks for that week and I do it. So sometimes depending on the time of year, it could be pretty unpredictable, but recently it's been pretty tame. So I've been able to keep somewhat consistent recently.
Oh, heck yeah. You know, like, sometimes these past few weeks, I'll be like next week is a very, very quiet week for me, where I just gonna be coming in and doing like normal work. Whereas the week after it, just suddenly is the most hectic thing imaginable, because not only do I'll have to go to class, I'll have to stream, but also we have, my gosh, that fart reverb scared me. This is what my chat does. This is what my chat does. Um, I have two. Let's see. I have two shows I have to mix, and then I have a basketball tournament I have to mix and commentate on 4 different days.
My
And so
goodness.
it makes me think, this is the college life. I chose this. Also, welcome, Rin. Rin is going to be one of our guests, so please join us for then. Now, for those that might be considering a similar thing, whether it be college, like whether it be a bachelor's program, master's, heck, even a doctorate, for those who are wanting to be like on a similar path, do you have any advice for people who want to try and balance this stressful academic life with a career in streaming or content creation?
I'd say always, always, always put your schooling first and your mental health. Because at the end of the day, those two things are, frankly, as long if you're going to school and school is a priority for you, both of those things are much more important than streaming at the end of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
day.
Of
Like if I ever
course.
come to a point in which I'm like, I can't even, I can't stream. There was I last semester, I went on streaming hiatus and I streamed like very, very max like once a week,
Mm-hmm.
because I struggled with that school stream balance. And I was struggling so bad mentally that stream just felt something that was like unenjoyable. It almost
It,
felt like a chore.
yeah, I was gonna say it felt like an
And
obligation.
exactly. It's like I was afraid of losing my momentum. I was afraid of losing all the progress I made. And I did lose progress, but at the end of the day, for me, school is just more important. And my mental health and keeping myself sane was more important. So if you want to take the path and focus a lot on both streaming and schooling, um, just remember if you're in school, you're there to go to school. Take care of yourself, and it always comes back to if it stops being fun, reevaluate.
That's a very powerful statement, and that a lot of people I feel like don't listen to enough. Is that when you go to school, you're there for school. Um, and a lot of people, especially in my life, where people have gone to school, like gone to college, they didn't value it as much as they wanted to, and because of it, it hurt them a lot. Um, like my oldest brother was kind of in that boat, and then he had a buddy where went to, I want to say it was either UCSD or UCLA, one of the big California college universities, and he spent so much time partying. My brother's friend spent so much time partying and hanging out that lost his scholarship. Lost his grades dropped, and he just wasn't on track for success. And it took him seeing, wow, I don't think I'm making the right choices. I need to kind of reevaluate. And from that, he pulled himself back up, got the scholarships again. That's because he cut out a lot of the things in his life that was causing him distraction, and he really put the time and the focus into that schooling. And perhaps the same thing could also be said for streaming as well. As when you're streaming, when you're choosing to be a streamer, you're there for streaming, and you know you either try your best to be manage it and put your both feet in, or you just don't do it, because at that point you're not enjoying and not liking what you're doing. You know, it's a rough situation for anybody, a viewer or a streamer.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So when you finish, what are hopefully your plans after your master's program?
Um,
Let me rephrase that.
um,
What? Let me rephrase that. What do you hope to do following your master program? So not exactly what are you going to do. What do you hope to do? What do you want to do? Are you still trying to figure
I
that part out?
want I want to get a good job.
Oh yeah.
That pays my rent. I want to get a dog and I want to be happy. That's my that's it. At the end of the day, I've always struggled with the concept of like a dream job. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I could never see myself doing something for the rest of my life, nor are there things that I feel so passionately about for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Um, all that matters to me is that I I get paid enough to pay my rent. I can hopefully get a dog one day, and I'm happy, and that's the goal. So I've been applying to jobs. I've been trying to get some connections going. I potentially have something lined up, but I'm waiting to hear back on that.
I really enjoy that sentiment. That's exactly what I want after college. Um, where it sounds dumb, but I really like the concept of a 9 to 5 job where I just get up, I go to work. You know, it's not something I have to stress too hard about. I get to come home, I get to, you know, enjoy time with pets or with family, you know, and I get to just do that. And so it's, to me, a quiet, peaceful life, I feel like, is something that these days is not as in the spotlight that people want. They want these fast-paced things, and they want these, you know, I want to be bigger, 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 and I want to do all these giant aspirations. And you look at someone like you or I, it's just like, yeah, just a nice job where you could pay the bills, you're going to work, you know, you're enjoying what you're doing. I feel like that's the dream right there.
I've come to learn through lots of therapy that being exceptional and being crazy, like high in status or high in accomplishment, just like doesn't really matter to me because it doesn't make me happy. So if I'm fucking working at like McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy and I'm making enough money to pay my rent and I'm living and I'm doing the things that I want to in my home life, that's really all that I care about.
Yeah. There's a job in my town, in my college town, where it's a potato factory. It is a potato factory. They do stuff with potatoes. And because of that, um they have job like in a college town like this. We're not talking about potatoes again. Sorry, my guest yesterday, Grimlen. We talked about potatoes for like 30 minutes and how he was just ripping on potatoes. Or like potatoes are okay, but you know, they're just not good. They're okay. Just a basic potato. Them. Well, he's just said, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Well, guess what? He's like, well, yeah, but mashed potatoes are just basic.
I've
So
never had mashed potatoes, so I can't
you
speak on
never
this
had mashed
topic.
potatoes?
Yeah,
Is
they
it?
intimidate me. I don't know.
What do you mean they intimidate you?
I know the texture, like I feel like I'm not gonna like it, so I just won't try it.
You know what's funny is one of my good friends is the exact same way. Where I asked him, I said, "You ever just have?" I have a habit of saying, because I love food. Uh, I I have a habit of saying, "You ever just have good X, Y, and Z?" And so, to me, mashed potatoes are like a comfort food. I love mashed potatoes. They're very easy to make, and you know, get a lot of nutrition out of them. And I asked my buddy, I said, "You ever just had a, you know, good thing of mashed potatoes?" Streamlabs. What is Streamlabs doing? Amy, you're scaring me. But I just like, you ever just have good mashed potatoes? And he's just like, no, I've never had mashed potatoes before. I'm like, what do you mean you never had mashed potatoes before? He's like, I don't know. I just don't like the way they look. Like consistency, I don't know. It just doesn't look good. I'm like, but it has like the consistency of like mashed or like applesauce. It's like, I've never had applesauce. I'm like, you've never had applesauce?
I've never had applesauce either.
Oh my god! So it's just, is it just like a texture thing of just like that kind of consistency where it's neither a liquid nor a solid. It's more like a thick soup.
Mush.
Mush.
Yeah, I'm
Mush.
super picky, particularly in the texture
Oh,
department, where
that's
it's like
fair.
if there's a texture in my mouth that I don't like, even like I can't like be brave. Like if I
Oh,
try to swallow it, I'll immediately like gag and throw it back up.
to be fair, I'm the same way with certain. Like, I'm not a picky eater by any means, but when it comes to texture, there are just some things I don't like, especially when it comes to meat that is not cooked all the way. Um, where I'm very good at cooking meat products like chicken, steak. I don't cook a lot. I don't eat a lot of pork. I'm not a big pork guy. Actually try to avoid pork. Um, but when it comes to chicken, it's one of those things where gamey is a word I use to describe it. Like gamey is the word. I hate that texture. It's just gross. So I completely understand the whole mashed potatoes thing. Now I assure you, mashed potatoes are good. They are very good. You have one, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, throw some sour cream in there. It gives it a nice creamy consistency, and then you throw some chives on top. Mwah. That's
I've never had
lunch.
sour cream or chives.
You've never had sour cream. That's okay. Sour cream is one of those. So sour cream is one of those things where they aren't exactly like the most, like the best thing. It's one of those things where you don't eat sour cream on your own. If you eat sour cream on your own, You
You're
are
a psycho.
insane. You are insane. Like, you need to be put somewhere where they have other people who have sour cream on their own.
It's
Like,
so funny seeing all of the people like from my community like now like finally speaking up when it's about the things that I've never tried because you don't get it. I get like an ass whooping every single time we talk about I've never had XYZ food. They're like, "Have you what do you eat?" And I'm like, "Chicken,
chicken
um
tenders.
pasta, nervous sweating."
Ice cream, water with maybe a single drop of lemon, but not 2 drops because that would be bad.
I tried rice for the first time like last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It's like plain, but it's good. I mean, I had white rice.
There's personally, I think short grain rice is the best rice. Short white grain rice is the best rice. That's because it's like the most fluffy and it can be sticky, like stick together, and it's like really good because you can make like sushi with it. Very good, highly recommend. Let's see what chat has been saying. Mushrooms and bananas are no goes on the texture front. I can understand. I used to not like mushrooms. I love mushrooms now. There's a research paper there's a research paper if anyone needs to write one on the particulars of VTuber diets. Pork cooks like chicken. Genuine question, how was it? You had me until you said chives. Why is everybody not like chives? Oh my gosh. You've had chicken but not chicken with rice? Oh, that's a good question.
Well, the first time that I tried rice was with chicken. My friend made me chicken adobo. She wanted to make it for me, and so it was with chicken, and I enjoyed it.
That's good. Like chicken and rice, my go-to meal, like every night. Heck, I'm gonna have chicken and rice after this stream today, because I haven't eaten anything today, so I just need to be better at eating before stream. Chives are just an onion. I mean, you're not wrong. They're dried green onions, kind of. Have you had a burrito? Do you like beans?
I've never had beans, but I've had a burrito. I used to work at Chipotle.
Hold on, you never had beans. You never had beans.
No, never.
Is it just like, so when I say beans, I can understand are you talking about refried?
I've never had any bean ever.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know.
That's
I kind of just decided the things I would and wouldn't try as a kid, and beans was one of the things that I just decided,
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna continue talking about food. We're just like, next thing you're gonna tell me you've never had Jello. Mercury?
I'm trying to remember actually.
Oh,
maybe when I was a kid. Maybe when I was a kid, but honestly, I don't remember. I don't eat Jello, so.
You try to pitch beans to her. All I gotta say is baked beans. Baked beans go hard.
That's made an entire presentation.
You're
a legitimate PowerPoint file explaining to me the benefits of beans, how to make them, and why I should eat them.
And what was your response?
That would require me to have the effort to purchase myself a can of beans and then cook it, and that's just I couldn't handle that commitment.
Merc cannot eat at a Mexican restaurant. She has nothing to eat.
No, when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I will ask other people to order food for me because I'm really embarrassed because I only get a taco or a burrito with only meat, nothing else.
You just eat it.
And it was nice when I worked at Chipotle because I could just make my own burrito and no one could judge me, and I would just make it only steak.
Honestly, that is pretty good. So
fun fact though, if you get a burrito from Chipotle and you get only meat, nothing else, they'll charge you for a side of meat and a tortilla, and that costs you $4.
So you want to know something interesting? Is a couple months ago, I think it was in September, that was the first time in my adult life, at the tender age of 23, the first time in my life I had ever had Chipotle. Never had Chipotle. And I live on I'm from the West Coast. So Chipotle runneth aplenty. I had never had Chipotle. And let me tell you something. I took a picture of that thing. I am 6'3". I have the body of a basketball player. Don't mind me. I have a tape measure right now. Let's see. From wrist to hand. My gosh! You guys are relentless! From wrist to middle finger, that is an 8-inch length. So I have long hands, long fingers, and the width of my hand is about 4 inches. That burrito I got was bigger than my hand.
Yeah, especially if you get a little bit of everything. Often, there was one time, some people ask for double wraps, but there was one time I was asked to triple wrap it. So 3 burritos. They asked for three tortillas encapsulating 1 burrito. It was triple rice, triple beans, double meat, like all of the toppings and the salsas and everything. And they were literally, people in line were recording me folding up this burrito because it was like the size of a human child. It was kind of ridiculous. I had to use 3 separate foils to get it wrapped up, and it was a huge mess, and it was terrible. And yeah, they kind of make monster burritos.
It was one of those things where when I had it, like, I have never had shawarma. I have never had shawarma. That's not something I don't like. It's just I've never had the opportunity to go to a place that served shawarma. But yeah, going to Chipotle for the first time was an experience. Love you too, Lunar. It was an experience because do you know what a Baja Fresh is?
No.
No, that's more like a California thing. Think more expensive and over. It's like the Five Guys of like the Cafe Rio type food places.
Oh, okay, okay.
Where they just rip you off. It's where the bougie people go.
Got it.
And so when I just again having Chipotle for the first time, it was an experience because I was with my buddy. We were going to a convention, and because I drove to Salt Lake City for their FanX expo, and we were because we're like I said, we're both in this small college town. We're just like, hey, what if on the way there to the convention that first day we do Chipotle? I'll have that for the first time, and then on the way home we'll have Cane's, and you will have Cane's for the first time. Which, if you guys have never had Raising Cane's, always recommend. Like, beautiful place. That burrito, like, I could not eat for like a day and a half, almost 2 days.
They mean business.
They do mean business. And not only that, I didn't have to pay for the burrito. It was my buddy's mom that paid for the burrito.
That's a win.
It is a win. I heard so much good about Cane's. So the thing is, Raising Cane's, fantastic place. You want to know why? Their chicken tenders are second to none. And their sauce.
I think they're kind of mid.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you, Mercury.
Like, the tenders are good. I think it's iconic that it's literally like the only thing on the menu. Like, I think that's like, honestly, I think that like there should be more restaurants where they have like one food item and that's it. But I'm not a fan of crinkle fries, and Canes get to be like so wild and filled with like rambunctious teens, and it like overstimulates me, and like the disco balls are too much.
I can certainly understand, if somebody says Cane's is mid. Cane's is, in my opinion, it's the best mid place to go. It's like Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A is mid.
Chick-fil-A is kind of mid.
And so, but I think Cane's is the best like mid-tier the best mid-tier like fast food place, because you can get a lot for, I think it's $8. You will get, and to a college student, that's a lot for $8, and for how much food you get, that's pretty good. You get 3 chicken tenders, you get a bunch of fries, and you get a piece of toast, and then you get a drink and coleslaw.
The toast is good. I like the toast.
I love the toast. So much so, I substitute the coleslaw for an extra piece of toast. I want those carbs.
I hear a lot of my students do that.
It's just, it just works. Like, their coleslaw's okay, but it's like, why get the coleslaw when you can get an extra piece of toast for free? You know,
Honestly, coleslaw is like salad but worse.
it's like salad but worse.
They were like, let's somehow make salad more unenjoyable, and then they invented coleslaw.
That's, that's to be one of the funniest things I've heard in a while. I say that because I love coleslaw, and my mom made the best coleslaw in my life. It was so good. It was sweet with a little bit of tang. You know, it was not like this like drenched in like a liquid kind of thing where it's a soup essentially. Like it was like she made that coleslaw like homemade, where she would buy the ingredients, chop it all up, and get it prepared. Somebody decided to take salad and make it worse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was just really funny. And I can see why. I can completely understand and see why. Oh, all right. Regain my composure. There's 17 Raising Canes in Minnesota. Oh my gosh. There's like, I think, in my hometown of Las Vegas, I want to say there's like 4. Now, mind you, it has a population of about 700,000. There's a lot. So, anywho, let's move past the food talk. Sound good?
Okay.
I could talk about food all day. Let's move past that because I think I've never had Raising Cane's. Oh, that's because I think Raising Cane's is predominantly an American-based food chain, so they're not yet expanding outside the U.S. yet. But hopefully, here's hoping. Now, this is a topic I was really, really excited to find out and to learn and to research a little bit, because it's something that I currently, you know, it's next step for me that I want to do, but it's going to take a lot of time for me. And that is the path to partner. Now, for some,
oh boy.
for a lot of people who are starting out on Twitch, a very big hurdle is just building a community. But at the same time, the big step that people are like really stressing over is the path to affiliate. And what that entails is you need to have 3 average viewers, stream on 7 different days, stream for 8 hours, and reach 50 followers, and that's within a month. That is within a month, in a 30-day period. Now, for a lot of people, it's the average of 3 viewers. That's the hardest thing. And there's a running theme here, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the thing is, just that 3 average viewers is that hurdle to do. And it's one of those things that you just have to really try and expand that content to really make it engaging and just have people come back and get their attention. And the beauty of the affiliate program is once you hit all of those markers, you're instantly in. You instantly get it. You don't have to apply. Path to partner is a little different. Path to partner works this way. You, in a 30-day period, you have to stream 25 hours. You have to stream on 12 different days. But the hardest one, Mercury, what is that?
You have to have an average of 70 or 70, I don't even remember.
75.
70 or 75. 75. You need an average of 75 viewers across the 30-day period.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will offer myself up first as a sort of a benchmark, because when we talk about Mercury, it'll be much, much higher. So you guys can get an idea. I reached affiliate in November, or in October, excuse me. And when I got that, I was at 50. You know, I was averaging 4 people, and looking at it now, I average about 10 viewers, which to me is fantastic in the short time I've been doing this. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I already reached the stream 25 hours in the 30-day period. I already reached the stream 12 different days. I am at 10 average viewers out of 75. And I've only been doing this for almost half a year now. Now, with Mercury, it's a little harder because I feel like at a certain point you reach that like 50 viewers to 75, and that right there is the spot where things stagnate.
Mm-hmm.
And currently,
That's
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what my biggest hurdle is, that
Hmm.
jump from like the 50s to the 70s.
Yeah, it's it is a hard jump to make because it's one of those things that once you hit partner, once you're trying to hit partner, everything just slows down. Everything just doesn't want to try and work. And not only that, even if you reach those metrics, you have to apply for it, and you're not guaranteed to get accepted. Because, for instance, there's a person who I follow and who my head mod Tay, he also mods for. Her name is Lenore. Now, I think her. If we look at hers, where is it? Uh, I spelled Lenore wrong. I spent 5 years to try and get affiliate. I gave up and now I'm back. We'll get you there. Don't worry, we'll get you there. But if we look at Lenore's, Lenore is currently sitting at how many average viewers? The month of March, 291 is thus far. But for the past few months, since about September, she has been around 90 to 140 average viewers. So she meets all of the criteria. She has applied 3 different times and she has not gotten it. And it's devastating, to say the least. And so, as somebody who's trying to get there in those beginning steps, what has been your experience thus far about trying to reach that milestone?
Well, from my experience, consistency in promotion is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something that I think a lot of people don't recognize when they're getting into streaming, at least from my experience, and this could be different than other people. When I'm consistently doing social media, when I'm doing my marketing, when
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through my analytics and posting at the right times and posting different content to different platforms, not even on Twitch, just completely off Twitch, I get more followers offline than I do online. A lot of it is getting
Really?
people to give you a shot in the first place. Um, it's getting people to accept your elevator pitch. And so to me, every single YouTube short that I post, every TikTok, every Twitter post, every Reddit post, those are all elevator pitches for people to check out my channel.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of consistently posting, consistently editing, consistently um,
Mm-hmm.
streaming. Because I mean, streaming's obviously the huge part. Is the more I stream, I feel like the more people are here and coming and everything. Um, it's a big social media game and a big streaming game, and it's also a lot of luck, because like a lot of people will just find me on their recommendation pages, and honestly, I thank people who, if they tell me they came from like the Twitch recommendation page,
Mm-hmm.
I thank them, because I'm like, there was a small chance I could have been on there, and you clicked on me and you gave me a shot, and here's my pitch. I hope you'll stick around, because getting people to go, I'm taking a class in social media analytics,
Interesting.
and a big one of the biggest jumps is getting a consumer to go from seeing like an ad, so basically like seeing a VTuber's TikTok, to actually clicking the link, following them, engaging with them, watching them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all of that consistency.
Yeah. Because recently, if because I'm looking at your profile on twitchtracker.com. And if we look at that, let's see. So March 5th, which was 5 days ago, average of 71 viewers. Then the next one, oh, I wish I could fine tune this. Uh,
I'm open to share my analytics if you want me to bring up my page and anything. I'm kind of an open book with numbers.
so March 5th, 71. Your next stream was March 8th, 53. March 10th, 65. Which March 10th is. Did you stream today? I don't think
No,
you
I
did.
streamed yesterday. I think that was last night's stream.
Interesting. And so, from this, the reason why I'm bringing up these average viewer numbers is because there's a phrase that you've been saying recently that I think drives home this entire experience. And do you know what I'm referring to?
Hmm.
You take 10 steps forward, it feels like 5 steps back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does it feel that way?
um. I'm someone who I work well with instant gratification, and I work well with seeing my progress. I work well with visually seeing progress.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that Twitch is a big numbers game, and it's a big chance of people giving you a shot, watching, lurking, etc. Um, but it you'll see I'll see myself hit really good views and really good milestones, and then it just kind of falls off a little bit. And I know that that's just kind of how it works and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's it's so dependent on, like, there are things that you can control to help boost your chances, but a bit of it is just frankly out of your control. The Twitch algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, they're all out of your control.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to it's like throwing it on the wall and seeing what sticks. And sometimes it's demotivating when you're putting in that same effort no matter what and you're getting different results. I'm sorry, my rat is like scratching herself against the wheel if you heard that like tapping.
I did not.
uh but it's a lot of it's just a lot of like the progress to get there and the journey to get there isn't a linear path. It's lots of ups and downs so far.
Yeah. I can only imagine the how many setbacks one has to face to that completely changes their way of thinking. Like they have to validate is what I'm doing worth it? Is this constant uphill battle, this Sisyphean task, is it worth it? Am I ever going to crest that hill? Are you having these feelings currently, or is it something where you're just like, well, I'm doing it as a hobby anyway, and we're still trying to get there, but it's not something I'm totally trying to dwell on as much anymore? How are your feelings currently about this task?
I definitely have those thoughts. I definitely have those thoughts of I'm never gonna get there, and I'm working to achieve something that I'll never be able to achieve. Um, but I kind of have to bring myself back into the state of, no matter what, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing, and no matter what, I I I'm doing everything I can. And if that takes me one step forward and two steps back today, that's okay. If it takes me 10 steps forward and no steps back today, that's great. But it's really just about uh you know uh keeping forward, because I'm having fun. And I know even though when I have these thoughts, I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying myself. I just sometimes I get down and I figure out, I'm trying to sometimes I think, because I have an anxiety disorder, so I tend to think to myself like,
Mm,
what am I doing wrong, and what are things I could do to make people care and to watch and to everything.
of course.
Um, so sometimes those thoughts get in my head, but I I know that no matter what, there's only one path I could take, and it's forward.
You know, saying, and I think you have a very good mental handle, a mature handle on this entire thing, because at least the way how I see you have it is, it may feel like 10 steps forward, 5 steps back. And while some people would get discouraged, in your mind it's not, I'm having a setback, I'm getting 10 steps forward, 5 steps back. It's, you see it as, well, guess what? Even if that's the case, I still move 5 steps forward. And I feel like that's the best mental attitude you could have. Is just that even though you're getting that pushback, you're still grateful that you made progress in the first place.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, streaming is all about, for me, it's all about having fun playing games and hanging out with my community. And it's like, these are all thoughts I have off stream. But while I'm on stream, I'm just thinking like, I'm having so much fun. I'm
Yeah,
interacting with people I care about. I'm playing fun games. I'm sharing a cool experience. So it's more so when I'm like in the back lines doing my all of my editing and my behind the scenes stuff, that this stuff piles in. But at the end of the day, the streaming part is always fun to me.
very good priorities. Very good priorities. So why is becoming a Twitch partner important to you?
I talked about it a little bit on my streams, because at the end of the day, like, as silly as it is, partner is kind of just like a cosmetic badge. Partner doesn't guarantee you better revenue split.
Hmm.
Partner doesn't guarantee you any sort of exclusivity, any sort of it doesn't give you a ton of benefits.
Hmm.
Um, what I want partner for is one for personal achievement, just because it's a milestone. They offer you, here's the next step you could take.
Yeah.
So I see that as okay, next goal, boom. But also because I want to open up opportunities for my community.
Ooh.
I feel like when it comes to things like merch opportunities, uh, and
Merc
potential,
opportunities will be the. I'm sorry. Continue.
you're good. When it comes to like merch opportunities and other cool, like if I could do like convention opportunities, like when it comes to that sort of stuff, they are more inclined to accept partners.
Mhm.
Um, so I see it not necessarily as like a I I did this thing and then I'm done. It's I did this thing and now I could figure out more ways to offer more things to the community.
I completely understand that, and that's what a lot of people, I think, their sentiment is when it comes to wanting to reach a partner. Is they just want it. They see it as one, the next milestone in their professional career, but they also see it as, I feel like I have a little more flexibility to be more connected with my community. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's, you know, at least people are not openly saying it, just like, ah, yes, hey, once I get partner, I get more money. Let's go. No, they see it as, I get to expand and I get to industrialize. Where now I feel like I have just this breathing room where I don't have, there's no step above it. I mean, there's technically a step, but that's more of a contract based thing with Twitch now, a higher contract. But at the point you reach the top of Twitch, you're a partner now. You're a top performer, and so you know, reaching that is certainly a milestone that's worth trying to achieve. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Have you been able to collaborate with uh, and hang out with other content creators or any other streamers or VTubers that are partners? And have you been able to learn anything from them? It's like you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Someone that I consider a friend and I look up to. Her name is Missy, but her Twitch username is Froggy Hoppins.
Oh heck yeah.
She is a frog VTuber, and we did a collab because she posted on Twitter about wanting to do collabs, and I, for the first time ever, actually reached out to someone about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I mainly knew her through one of my community members and friends who does lots of art for both of us. Um, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And we did a power wash collab together. And we ended up talking a lot about like our experiences, like trying to like grow as streamers. And she shared with me like so much of her wisdom. And of course, it was very like specific to her experiences and her type of content and everything. But it was very eye opening and inspiring and motivational to me. I think it's sometimes uh I feel like I've grown so much that I've come from a spot to like when I was a smaller streamer being like, oh my gosh, like you kind of see it partners as like so much like above you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people forget that part like Twitch partners are not like celebrities. They're not like they're just people at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. And I think people get like intimidated to interact and ask questions and share with them.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've grown so much, I'm in like this in between spot where I could finally like feel comfortable and be like, hey, like I want to reach out to you. I wanna ask questions. I wanna hang out with you. I wanna chat. So
I completely understand that. I talked about it a little bit before on the show where, um, when it comes to talking with people, it's better to just put yourself out there. Pardon me. It's just easier. It's better to just, if you have the mental fortitude and the confidence, because I understand some people they don't have that, and that's completely okay. But if you're able to work up the courage, just ask, just talk, because at the very end of the day, that's all anybody can ever ask of you to do. is to do your best with that. Hey, Cinder, welcome. But it's just all you can do is do your best, and the worst. There are three possible things that could happen. If you like want to collab or you want to learn from somebody, or you want to do something like that, there's three possible things that'll happen. They'll respond, they'll say no and dismiss you, or they won't respond at all. In worst case, they don't say anything. And it's one of those things where just take the shot, because at the end of the day, like, one of the biggest moments for me in my streaming career thus far was actually taking a moment to show people the behind the scenes process of how I ask people to be on this show, where I don't care if they have one follower or 100,000, where I went through and I showed people my Twitter. I showed people my Twitter DMs, and I showed them that all this long list are all the people I reached out to. And plenty of them did not respond, did not give me the time of day. But far more people have said yes to me. Who bonked me? Thank you, Finch. and that's the biggest thing I learned was that I the hurdle I had to get over was, should I even bother asking? Should I even bother asking Iron Mouse, Zentreya, Lucius Merriweather? Should I even ask these people that wouldn't even give me the time of day? And I was like, why not? What could hurt? At least the worst they could say is either no or they just don't respond.
Yeah.
And to me, it helped me establish that viewpoint of we're not above each other. We're all in the same spot. And so if you get scared asking for a collab, that's completely okay. It's something that if you want to be a part of something, you want to do something with somebody, it's something that has to be done when you are ready and when the time is right. Because if you feel compelled to, that's not a good thing to do. In my eyes, at least. And that's why yesterday we proposed the new idea. We're not doing collabs anymore. We're doing play dates. Collabing is far too professional. It sounds far too corporate. So now we're doing now it's hey, you want to have a play date with me? Where it's just
That's
like,
so real.
huh?
That's so real.
Like as a kid, and it was a very good rationalization of just, it was just like, I like that a lot more. It's a lot cuter. It's a lot more friendly. I like it. And hey, Kara.
That's my wife.
Ah, heck yeah. Anytime I pop into your stream, they always say hello. But what was I saying? Yes. It's just that when you say you want to collab, it just feels so like professional, but at the same time, I don't know. How it was described is when you hear collab, it feels like two businesses wanting to get together to make more money. Or you say it's like a kid. It's like, hey, you want to do a play date? It's like, sure, let's have a play date. Let's go have fun. Let's just do come what may.
I think it's like a funny observation that people might not realize, but like my closest friends that are VTubers, I never collab with. Because I always want to, like, I always play games with them offline, or I'll always like hang out with them offline, because it's like I really struggle with the idea of going back and forth between like, thanks for the follow, okay, back to our conversation, or let me interrupt you because we got a raid. Like, even if you have push to talk on, it's like I want if I want to hang out with my friends, like I want to hang out, like I want to enjoy it. And I do enjoy collabs. It's not that I don't like collabs, or I think collabs are like bad, or I haven't enjoyed them. And I think I need to learn to be better with like just focusing on interacting with my person, and being okay if I'm not like interacting with as much with chat.
It's funny that you say that, because I started to do that a little more when my wonderful artist who designed all of the stuff you see on the set, he's a wonderful person, and he decided to go into streaming and to be a PNG tuber. He's like, why not? I'd love to expand my market, and I'd love to see about trying to find more people, but I think it'd just be fun. And we played Danganronpa before his graphics card blew up. We played it every Tuesday, and I would start to play it with him, and of course, I'm a bigger size than him. I have more followers than him. Don't have too many more, but I have much more than him. And in my eyes, whenever I streamed, I felt bad, and I didn't like the idea that I was hanging out with my friend, and we were both streaming at the same time. We're both playing, and I'd see that I'd have a little more viewers than him, and he would only have like 1 or 2, and I'd have like 8 to 12. And I'm like, I don't like that. And so I've stopped streaming, but I've just kept playing with him. So it's like, your focus is there. Everybody's on you, and that way everybody's supporting you, and I'm just merely here. That way I can have a fun time with my buddy. And since then, those streams have been so much better for me, because it means that all the attention's on him. It's his first time playing through that game, and so I don't have to worry about getting rated. I don't have to worry about things getting thrown at me where it distracts. And it allows for a much clearer and a much more clarity to the stream itself. So, yeah, I really like your thoughts on that. Of, if I want to play with them, I want to play with them. I don't want to distract myself by having a bunch of people talking to me. So that's a very good way of putting it. So, before we end up with our last 10 questions, I'll have to ask you, and that's this: for those who are trying to get to the path of affiliate and or the path of partner, what advice do you have for these people?
Consistency and first impressions are everything. As someone who teaches public speaking, people have a very short attention span. Keeping and retaining people's attention, especially while online, is incredibly difficult. The average attention span of a Gen Zer scrolling on TikTok is, I believe, about 5 seconds. So you got 5 seconds to win people over when it comes to social media posts, when it comes to seeing them on Twitch. If someone follows you, or if someone hops in your chat, like, make that conversation. I think the biggest thing that I see that's like a big reason people will click away is if someone follows. There's nothing wrong with doing this, but let me present to you two situations. Um, Say you follow, and I say, "Hi, welcome in. How are you?" Versus, "Hi, welcome in. What have you done today? What have you eaten? What are your plans for today? I'm playing this game. Have you played it?" Asking questions that engage people and starting that first impression is so important, especially when you're affiliate, because you have no community. I feel like it's, or when you're working to affiliate, because the thing is for a lot of people will look at numbers to, if they're a viewer, a lot of viewers will look at numbers to be like, okay, based on the size of this streamer, this many people have supported their content and decided to give them a chance. When you're a smaller creator, it's that much harder when people see that you're new. No one knows what you got to show. So really engaging with people, when they come in, when you make posts. Every time I make posts, I try to end, if I do any sort of recorded short, I end it with a question. I'll ask questions in the post. I respond to comments. People want that engagement because that's what draws them in. So, yeah, keep working, keep being consistent, but also remember, no matter what, first things first, only do it if you're having fun. And if you're not having fun, you might need to change things up.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. When I started doing YouTube short content, I started doing things. You chose now of all times at the very end to do that. All right, thank you. I'll get that in a moment. But that's actually how I approach my short form content. Is instead of writing a normal script, what I think will be fun, I now treat it like a public speaking thing, where the first sentence I have to say has to be the most impactful thing. And that's how I write all my speeches, because I'm going to be giving a speech on entertainment and the future of AI with it. And my opening line is this: "We are all going to die." And that's my opener. But the thing is, you say something profound like that, it will make people perk up and go, what are you gonna say? Or another one, for instance, the speech I gave before this one, my opening line was, "Do you love your children?" Again, it makes people perk up. They're like, because at that point it was, I led in with, I said, "Do you love your children?" More specifically, do you love your children's drawings? Because with that, I then went on, imagine your child, runs up to you, brings you a brand new picture of Spider-Man, and you're just like, you being the wonderful parent, you put it on the fridge for all to see. And then a few days later, you get a cease and desist in the mail from Sony because you can't draw Spider-Man without their permission. And that was how I led into the topic of copyright infringement and the nature of fan art. Is I started that with, do you love your children's drawing? Or do you love your children? And so, but the idea is that was my attention getter. And it was a very well liked opener, because people were like, who starts a conversation like that? But then they ended up listening because of it, because it was so outlandish. That's not saying you clickbait it. You can, but that's not gonna have a good reputation on you. But yeah, I completely relate to that. You need to capture that attention in the first 5 seconds. So very well put. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to do this as this is one of my redeems, but I always extend it to my guest. You don't have to. It's more than welcome to decline it. I was offered to my guests. I do an RR redeem, and thankfully I have not missed a single one on this show. So again, you don't need to. I can do it myself.
Yeah, I'll pass. My community does not get that from me.
That's fine. My community does get that from me, but that's because I'm a sellout.
You know what, Rio? I think I did it for money too. I did it once for money, so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did it once for money, but I won't do it again unless, I don't know, money.
Well, now I feel embarrassed doing it in front of you.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm a very shameful person. Things I've done on stream. Don't worry.
It's like, worst case, I'll just sick the rats on you for charity. Anywho, this is for you, Amy. Thankfully, my voice is a little deeper, so I can probably go a little deeper voice on it. So anyhow, avert your ears, Mercury, for the cringe the cringe that's about to ensue. Anywho, it's a very breathy one today.
That was a good one.
Oh, thank you. You know what's funny is we have not talked about Dr. Pepper at all this stream.
Yeah, it's because I'm still clean. I'm like, can I tell you something so embarrassing? And I won't mention this on my own stream. So this is like a juicy piece of secrets that only people who are here right now will be able to know.
Sure.
I'm not even kidding. This is like one of the most embarrassing things I'm about to admit.
Sure.
Those like I downloaded one of those apps. That's for like people trying to go sober. It's like a count, like a days since app.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I have a days since Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper soda. And I'm like I think 5 or 6 days strong, and I'm only tweaking a little bit.
There you go. There you go. See, that's something to be proud of. Regardless of how you do it, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, that's the best thing you can do. Oh no! Stop it! No! Ah! Here we go.
Oh, I just realized I never brought up my Dr.
I cannot hear a word you're saying. That's how loud this is to me. So it's not loud for them, but it's loud for me. Jeez. All right.
You should put a cooldown on that.
All right. Okay. All right. Hold on. That's enough out of that. I'm muting that.
You need a cooldown timer on these bad boys.
I have a cooldown. No, I don't have a cooldown.
It's not long enough.
So, and for anybody who's trying to reach affiliate, that's another recommendation I give to you. Have a gimmick. Have something that chat can participate in and have fun with. But this was something that happened after you reach affiliate because of channel points. So this is something I promised to my chat. I said once I reach this, you will have this power, and this is what'll draw you to my streams. That's why I always say, come by, throw some Dr. Pepper, have some Dr. Pepper. Why not? So it's one of my ways. Maybe if I get bigger, I will add a cooldown on it per person. Yeah. Until then, that's what it is. Anywho, let's get to our last 10 questions. That way we can get going and enjoy the rest of our weekend. Now, these are 10 questions that I ask to all of my guests that were created by James Lipton, the famous writer, actor, director, who he would ask to his guests at the very end of his show inside the actor studio. There are no right, there are no wrong answers. You just answer it according to the feelings in your heart. And again, these are completely for fun. They're not to be taken seriously. So, we will start with the first question. And chat, I encourage you to answer these questions along with us. Because it's fun. So, the very first question, Mercury, what is your favorite word?
Silly.
Silly. Yeah?
Silly is a silly word. Like, you can't say silly while like being sad. Like, that's so silly.
It's funny you say that because something I was talking about is you can't whistle when you're angry. You can, but just it's really weird. Like
I can't whistle in general, so.
Oh, I see. a lot of people, like, you never typically see like somebody who's sad or mad. You never see them whistling. You know, typically people who whistle on the street are those who are kind of happy or maybe being a little mischievous. But, you know, it's funny that you say that. You can't say silly when you can't really say silly and not feel a little bit of happiness on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is your least favorite word?
Restaurant, because I never remember how to spell it.
That's really funny.
I don't remember.
Okay, this sounds weird. This sounds really weird and dumb. I didn't learn how to spell the word business until high school.
Bussiness.
Sometimes
you have to like read it phonetically to like remember.
Exactly. Mama huevo? Wait. Mama egg? Mother egg? Is that what that is? Okay. My least favorite is family. Oh no. Okay. Next question. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Art and music. Things that inspire me. So when I see like art that inspires me, or I hear a song that like gets me in the mindset grind set, that inspires me to continue making creative stuff.
It is a very common one. It is one of my favorites. And it's a very good one too. You can never go wrong with it. Music just puts you in a good mood. Like, I love listening to Colombian bachata whenever I clean my house, because it just puts me in a mood of like, or just when I'm doing like yard work or like any type of just anything that's not sitting at a desk. I feel very animated because I love dancing. The same thing with swing dancing. I love listening to swing dancing when I'm like cleaning. It's super fun. It's so good. Guys, if you don't listen to swing jazz, listen to swing jazz. Jazz is fantastic. It's super fun. What turns you off?
Mean people, hateful people.
Toxicity.
Yeah. People will do some mean things when they're insecure, and I don't appreciate that. Not my favorite.
It is not fun to be around toxic individuals. Septum piercing. What? Oh, wait, septum. That's a nose piercing, right?
Yeah, it's the one in between your nostrils.
Sorry, I don't like that. I can understand like a nose one, but just
I have one.
They're
I think it's something that
wonderful.
always jump scares people.
They're
And people always
wonderful.
shit talk them to me. They always shit talk them to me. And I don't take offense because everyone's got their own preferences. It's just funny because I have one and I love
Oh,
it.
I don't think it's bad. I just so I have no problem with it. It's just the concept of just shoving a rod through your nose like that. That's just one thing. I was like, oh, like I
It
don't
was a less painful piercing
really. Is this
than
just?
others.
I imagine it's just because it's cartilage.
Yeah, like it pinched for a moment, but it was basically like the same amount of pain as like my
Ah,
earlobe or my belly button.
fair enough. I don't have any piercings. I have piercings and I have tattoos, so I'm just a baby when it comes to those kinds of things. Our next question: what is your favorite curse word?
Um, I like fuck. I don't know. Fuck is universal. Like, oh, I guess you know what? I hope I'm allowed to. Am I allowed to say the "see you next Tuesday" word on your stream?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just
I love.
don't be racist. That's like the don't be racist and don't be anti people. That's like the biggest thing. If you want to say the c word, go for it. I don't say it.
Okay, my favorite curse word right now is cunt because like it's kind of like been taken to like empower women, and like
Yeah.
when you serve cunt you're serving. Like when you serve cunt, like you are literally, you're giving, you're everything, like you are the moment. But sometimes I forget that cunt is like a very offensive word still, so sometimes like I worry. Like I have a bracelet that says serve cunt and I realized my mom found it in my room and I was like, oh god. But yeah, I love the word, I love the word cunt, but only when it's used to talk about serving cunt and not like calling someone one.
That's really funny. My goodness. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people around it's used around the world a lot, especially like Australia is the prime example. So it's just a word that you ascribe meaning to. Some words, of course, are worse than others, but it's one of those words that it's just a female body part. So, or somebody who's being a dickhead, you know. But it's a good one. It is a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
What is that comment? The girls at work used it too often. Like the blender is
The
ice.
blender is goddamn. That's kind of funny. That's kind of hilarious. Not gonna lie. You didn't see that blender. You can't judge them. Maybe the blender really was serving cunt. I don't know.
I don't understand, but I'm a bit confused, but I got spirit.
You know what? It's okay. If you're serving cunt, that means like you're iconic.
Ah, okay. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. Heck yeah, I love that.
You're serving confident, bold, like all of the good things.
Heck yeah. I love it. What sound or noise do you love? You rats?
I love not really.
No.
I like their noises are cute, but they always do it at very inconvenient times. Probably I like the sound of I like music, and I like when you play like a guitar and
Yeah.
it rings, like, but you stop playing the string and it rings out and you hear it from like the inside of the guitar.
Hell yeah. Freaking love my guitar. One of these days I'll do a guitar stream. I kind of did that a little bit before, like a little bit earlier. But like
Ooh.
when I do my karaoke stream coming up, I'm hoping to probably just play on my guitar and just play it with that. I'll just hook up two mics. For one for my guitar and the other for my actual vocals. And I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm. That's super hype.
Hell yeah. Freaking love music. Music goes hard. What sound or noise do you hate?
The sound of people like cracking their knuckles and their bones and their necks and their finger, like I that noise like freaks me out because every time I'm reminded that there's a skeleton inside my body, I get very uncomfortable. Like I can't think about it.
I do play guitar, yes, but I also have a skeleton in my body. That's like I don't typically talk about. It's then if for whatever reason met in person, you would not want to be near me because I do pop my knuckles. And the big thing I do is I pop my neck.
No, I hate when people do that so much. Oh, it makes me like want to throw up. It like freaks me out.
Oof.
I don't know why, but Don't remind me that we have skeletons inside us. Only bad things will happen.
Remember, guys, if you're ever feeling happy, just remember there's a skeleton inside you controlling your body, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're controlling the skeleton, so really, you have the power.
Are you sure? Because sometimes I feel like that skeleton is just in control.
Your skeleton's just an idiot wrapped in muscles that tell it what to do. So
Yo, that's what I have on my dating profiles. I'm just an idiot with I'm an idiot skeleton that controls my muscles and body. All right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I'd love to be a public speaker. I'd love to be like a motivational speaker.
Really? That's,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like fun. I mean, I know a lot of people can make good money as speech writers and speech coordinators.
Uh, I'd like to be one of those too one day, but I love doing the speaking part, not the writing part's okay, but
So
I'm all about the speaking part, the yapping part.
so we'll have to be ready in your community when we see you on a panel.
Yeah, one day when I'm like, it's so funny. Sometimes people will come in and be like, Mercurywinds, the world's most biggest VTuber. And I'm like, yeah, we have this bit where sometimes I just pretend like I am like the biggest VTuber. And I'm like, yeah, everyone, welcome in. It is me, the most popular, most successful, most wealthiest VTuber out there. Yeah, so when that really comes true and I'm in a panel, you'll get to hear me.
I actually do that a lot with my my viewers, where anytime they jump in, like a running theme is anytime I see Amy plays games, anytime I see them, I'm like, is that the Amy plays games? Or is that the Willow Tree Necromancy? I'm like, whoa! And like I just love doing that where I call out my guests and or my viewers. I'm like, yo, I get to place things. Oh, I see. Sorry. I call you Amy now. But just that's one of my favorite things is to just really call out my viewers and just being like, yo, I get to be visited by them. That's awesome.
I
Heck
used
yeah.
to do this bit. I honestly wish I should probably still do it again. I used to do this bit when I was like a smaller streamer where like if I got a first time chatter, I would pretend like they were like a VTuber that or like a YouTuber that I loved watching in my childhood and they were like huge and popular. I'd be
Hell
like,
yeah.
no way! Oh my god, it's the insert username here. You were my childhood, dude. I was watching you way back in 2008. That's insane. How are you doing? And like I just gaslight them because I don't know. I thought it was funny.
That is funny. What profession would you not like to do?
uh,
Chiropractor?
customer service.
Customer service. I see. I'm surprised it's not chiropractor given
Yeah, that's also up there.
All right, our last question in this set. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Let's meet all the people you missed.
Oh.
I have a lot of people in whatever the afterlife looks like, and I really love to. Well, not anytime soon, but in the far, far, far future, I'd love to see them all again and have a big old catch up sesh.
You can plug into the sun.
Oh yeah, I do threaten to fling people into the sun. And like I have this bit, so I had this bit where people like do something bad. I tell my mods to fling them into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my mods has like created this command where if you do exclamation point mods and then the name, it'll like include a random prompt of how mods will punish this person. And it's so funny. Like I don't know all of them yet, but like I saw like the mods have pissed this person's shoes. And I'm like,
I was gonna say.
you know what? Real.
I was gonna say, don't you say like mods piss their pants or like?
I do sometimes. Yeah, I tell them to piss their pants.
My goodness. Well, I wish we had more time, but this has been so much fun, and I feel like not just myself, I feel like everybody here has learned a lot. Like this is a really fun show, and I was really excited for this. So, why don't we ask our second, our last, or our last, and in my important. I'm very professional, couldn't you tell? Time for me to ask my damn it! Time for me to ask my last and, in my opinion, my second most important question. And that is, Mercury, who would you like us to raid?
Oh,
Now, you figure that out. While you do that, I'll talk to chat and kind of do my outro thing. And then when you're ready, just put that in the stream chat.
aye, Captain. Let's
Sweet.
see.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on this wonderful episode of the VOD. This is episode 40. We have 10 more episodes left of the VOD before we go on break. So I encourage you guys to stop by and join. It's every Friday night and Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Willow. It is every Friday night and Saturday afternoon, completely free. You get to meet a bunch of cool VTubers. It's so much fun. And honestly, I get to meet all these wonderful people and talk with them. And, you know, it's so much fun for me to listen to them and hear their life story and their commentary. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. So please join me next week for that. And please join me for the rest of the episodes of the VOD. Not only that, if you're not supporting and you're not following Mercurywinds here, please, let's help get her to partner. Because that would be pretty fun. Pretty pog, as the kids say. Not only that, I have a Discord. Please join the Discord if you want some fun times and also to bully me. I like to do tournaments. I like to chat with my guests there. I also like to talk with you guys. So if you guys want to be a part of a fun server where you can talk with not only me, but my previous guests, your VTuber, you want to set up any kind of collabs or anything like that, join the server. It's free, it's fun, and it's really cool. Much like river water in your shoes. It's quick, it's easy, it's efficient. Just a quick question. How do you get both models on screen at the same time if you aren't near each other? Oh, easy. I have my own model here, and then I use a website called Video Ninja, and then you assign it a browser source, and then you can do that. Very easy, very fun, very quick, easy, efficient, pouring river water in your socks. So with that in mind, that's something that's been popping up more and more recently, is the pouring river water in your socks. I just freaking love it, though. Why might you do that? Because it's quick, it's easy, it's efficient. Or it's quick, it's easy, it's free. Lemon casket. Any last words before we raid out? It sounds very ominous.
I have been very brave today because I popped a pimple that's like where my lip meets my skin, and it's very weird and uncomfortable to talk. And I've been very brave about it. So
Oh, no.
also, everyone follow Val. Yeah, that's my goodbye message.
No, everyone follow Mercury. Oh, is Lemon live right now?
I refreshed it. Wait, let me double check.
Oh,
Lemon was live. Oh, Lemon's no longer. Never mind. Lemon is no longer live.
Oh, all right. Well, while you find another one, yeah, guys. Oh, also, I need to get my raid emotes going. So VOD raid 1. But yeah,
oh,
guys.
wait, this person.
Guys, this has been a lot of fun. Again, stop by for the VOD. The VOD is really fun. I have some big things planned. And yeah, again, Discord. Oh, I also have a Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you want like the worst anime takes and stuff like that. Not to mention, I have a YouTube channel. It's at this username. So if you want to see the VOD of the VODs or any past shows, follow me there. And also, we're going to be doing some short form content. Not to mention, the VOD news show is coming up soon. So if you want VTuber news, that's the place for it. Without further ado, Mercury, you ready for Mrs. Blob?
I am ready for Mrs. Blob.
Oh, heck, I like that. Call of Juarez. Man, I haven't seen that game in forever. Well, guys, this has been fun. Anywho, my name is Val, this is Mercurywinds, and guess what? That is our show tonight. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. People are throwing things. Have a wonderful weekend. And please, remember that you matter, you exist, and be good people. And with that in mind, let's raid. Oh my gosh, I hit the...